leaves France for South Africa today. OT approves Christmas bonus for Abia monarchs. Then how Obasanjo rejected single-term presidency, says Oladoyin. Oyo elevate 551 workers to higher cadre. Lagos State government intensify campaign against public smoking. These are some of the headlines as reported in the Punch newspaper this morning. Going through to the Daily Post, controversial tax bill or Haneze Afenifere Arewa Youth State positions. Then in other headlines from the same Daily Post newspaper, troops recover stolen crude oil in Niger Delta. NUJ Enugu stakeholders delighted as easy gozo and smooth rain. Yaya steps in. Then tax reform bills. I know you can have your way. Zulum to President Tinubu. Go on telling lies against Ojukwu Honor. Then only Lagos will benefit from tax reform. That's according to Governor Zulum. Quite a lot of reactions from the Borno State Governor. Other headlines, political elements, military personnel benefiting from insurgency in Borno, says Governor Zulum. Still with Zulum, he says Boko Haram still attacking on Nigerian territories. And Abia communities protest over proposed airport site. Those are some of the headlines in the Daily Post this morning. And in the Nation newspaper, Tinubu and Buni, a convergence of vision. Minimum wage strike call sparks state labor row. I take it again. Minimum wage strike call sparks state labor row. Tinubu's intervention in oil economy gets kudos. GMO crops don't produce more than conventional ones. Experts seek improved investment research. Firm graduates 25 middle management. Then French investors to revive. I take it again. French investors to revive 2,000 abandoned mining site in Nigeria. Okay, I take it again. French investors to revive 2,000 abandoned mining pits in Nigeria. Malaria vaccine for launch today in Bayelsa, Kelby. That's the stories there from the Nation newspaper and through to the Vanguard newspaper. Port Harcourt refinery tanker driver at war over delay in product loading. NASD 6 compliance with sex rule on trading unlisted security. Oil theft. Army dismantles 56 illegal oil bunkering site. Recovers 1.2 million liters of stolen crude. CBN's interest rate hike deflates stock market performance. UK manufacturing output raises dispute despite smaller workforce. Then manufacturers should be shielded from spurious consumer claims. That according to the association there, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN. Troops neutralizes cause of terrorists in Zamfara state. These headlines, coupled with some other stories, I will bring you details in a moment. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Is here with us again. Oh yes, Adamimogo 107.7 FM Ido-Ekiti is using this medium to inform and invite children, parents, heads of nursery, primary and secondary schools, churches and individuals wishing to sponsor children and be a part of our 2024 Father Christmas show beginning from 2nd to 24th December 2024. Come and let's revel in the season of love and giving. It promises to be fun-filled. Our Father Christmas will arrive from Rome and be seated at his grotto in our station to receive children, dance and play with them. There are lots of take-home goodies and gifts from Father Christmas, as well as toys and play gadgets to make children's visit interesting, long-lasting, and memorable. For further inquiries, please contact Desmond Olaoluwa on 0806 511 4430 or Bayo Babalola on 0803 562 5812. Adamimogo 107.7 FM Ido-Ekiti 2024 Father Christmas show promises to be exciting.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the Dailydose on Adamimogo 107.7 FM is what you're listening to, where we bring stories reported in the national dailies. And I begin the details of those headlines from the Punch newspaper, where this is saying Tinubu leaves France for South Africa today. It says President Bola Tinubu will leave France on Monday for Cape Town, South Africa, to co-chair the 11th session of the Nigerian South Africa Bi-National Commission alongside President Cyril Ramaphosa. Tinubu's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, revealed this in a statement signed on Sunday titled President Tinubu to co-chair 11th session of the Bi-National Commission with President Ramaphosa. Onanuga said, and I quote, the presidential BNC scheduled for Tuesday, December 3rd, will be presided by the ministerial meeting on December 2nd, 2024 at the South Africa Parliament building in Cape Town. President Tinubu and President Ramaphosa will engage in substantive talks on a wide range of issues of mutual interest, including bilateral, regional and international matters, building on the commitment from their June 20th, 2024 meeting in Johannesburg shortly after President Ramaphosa's inauguration for a second term in office. The two leaders will review the progress achieved since the 10th session of the BNC held in Abuja from November 29th to December 1st, 2021. End of quote. The 11th session of the BNC will feature deliberations across 8 working groups, each focusing on a specific area of mutual interest. This includes political consultation, consular and migration, banking and finance, defense and security, manufacturing, social sector, mines and energy, and trade and investment. To see further details of the president's visit to South Africa, it reported in the Punch newspaper coupled with some other newspaper out there. Tinubu leaves France for Punch newspaper. Only Lagos will benefit from Tinubu's tax reform bills, says Zulum. The Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has clarified his position on the controversial tax reform bills, saying he was not an enemy of President Tinubu's administration's major beneficiary. The governor made the clarification when he was featured as a guest in a televised interview. He says, and I quote, I am a strong member of the APC. If you are to count 2 governors who have been in support of Tinubu from 2019 to 2023, you can mention Professor Zulum. I was the first governor to come out publicly to say that power must go to the South. Unfortunately, the president was told by many that the North is against him. About 60.2% of his vote came from the North. There are a lot of misconceptions about the tax issues. During the NEC, we advised the federal government to pause for a moment to have a deeper consultation with stakeholders. That was our own statement. But later on, people have turned it upside down. I want you to believe that consultation is central to democracy, and in a democratic setting, we are begging for the right to be consulted. This is only what has happened. End of quote. In the past few weeks, the controversial bills have pitched the 36 state governors against the federal government, with the former calling for the withdrawal of the bills to create room for more consultation. To see further details of what Governor Zulum said, it reported in the Punch newspaper, coupled with some other newspaper outlets there. Only Lagos will benefit from tax reforms or tax reform bills, says Post newspaper this morning. Controversial tax bills or Haneze Afenifere Arewa Youth State's position. As the president Tinubu tax reform bills continue to attract heated debate across opposition from stakeholders in the northern part of the country. The journey to the now controversial bills began in July 2024 when President Tinubu inaugurated the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee. The committee subsequently informed Nigerians of the move to replace the national tax policy with a more comprehensive national fiscal policy on fair taxation, responsible borrowing, and sustainable spending. This bettered the 4 bills, including the Nigerian Tax Bill 2024, the Tax Administration Bill, the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill. They are currently before the chambers of the National Assembly for passage. Recall also that the contention over the bills, among other things, is the sharing of the value-added tax as proposed by the bills. This principle of sharing 60% of VAT revenue through the derivation principle has continued to spark debate, with the Northern elites leading the opposition. However, there have been controversies and there have been reactions and counter reactions from that development. Now let's go to the reactions. The federal government has been unfair to North in terms of distribution of resources. That, according to the Iowa Youth Forum, that's their concern. It says the President General of the AYF, Yerima Shatima, told newsmen on Sunday that prior to the introduction of these bills, the federal government has not been fair to the North in regards of the distribution of national resources. He noted that while a monolithic stance on the controversial tax bills is unlikely, our concern, and I'm quoting him now, our concerns generally revolve around equity, fairness, and the potential for the disproportionate burden on the northern region. Still quoting him, he says our primary concern stems from the perception of inequality or inequitable distribution of resources and infrastructure development across the country. And also from the Ohanese backing the president, this is saying industrious Igbos will benefit from tax reform bills. That's Ohanese backs President Tinubu. Now the details is saying Factional Secretary General of Ohanese, Okechukwu Iziguzoro, told newsmen that after thorough consultations and evaluations, the organization realized that the tax reform bills would have more benefits to the people. According to him, the tax reform bills are not merely legislative proposals, stating that they represent a transformative opportunity for the rejuvenation of small medium enterprise SMEs and the enhancement of fortunes of Nigerian workers. He believes that by eliminating the scourge of double taxation imposed by unscrupulous state governors, these reforms will pave the way for an equitable business climate that significantly elevates both local and foreign investment potentials. That from the Ohanese there. Now let's see what the Afenifere is saying. This says every state has opportunity of deriving maximum benefits. Afenifere counters northern leaders. On the path of Afenifere, or on this path, Afenifere's National Publicity Secretary, Comrade Jare Ajayi, said the organization was of the opinion that using or including derivation as a factor of distribution would not deprive the northern state or any other state what is due of them or to them. Speaking on the concerns raised by the derivation method, Ajayi said, and I quote, since people consume items and patronize services in every state, there is no need or there is no reason any state will not benefit from the proceeds of VAT collected in their domains. End of quote. Ajayi stated that the position of the northern stakeholders further underscores the imperativeness of restructuring the country urgently so that each constituent part, zone, or region would be in position to exploit and largely control the resources within its enclave. He added that such arrangement would not only encourage a healthy competition, it will motivate states and individuals. It's quite a lovely detail there, but you can see further stories from the Daily Post newspaper. Controversial tax bills, Ohanese Afenifere Iowa Youth State's position was rough and challenges daunting. He has handled them well. The results are trickling in, he said. He celebrated a rise in crude oil production to 1.8 million barrels per day. You can see further things or further commendations he gave to the president from the Nation newspaper. Again, Tinubu's intervention in oil economy newspaper. Minimum wage strike calls sparks Minimum wage strike calls sparks state labor row. It comes with this riders. He says workers down 2 in Kaduna, Enugu, Nasarawa FCT from today over the disagreement with the authorities on implementing the new minimum wage. In some other states, there is confusion following the directive by the National Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress for workers in those states to embark on strike over the issue. Some of the states' councils of the NLC are threatening strike, not based on the refusal of the state government to pay, but due to lack of mutual agreement on what is being offered. The NLC and Trade Union Congress TUC councils in Ebonyi, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Federal Capital Territory (FCT) have directed their workers to begin strike today. In all these states, the government had announced the minimum wage to be paid, but there is disagreement on the mode of implementation. Ebonyi has announced 75,000 naira, Nasarawa 70,000, Kaduna 72, FCT 70. The Minimum Wage Act 2024 stipulates 70,000 naira for the least paid workers. You can see further details in the Nation newspaper. Minimum wage strike calls spark state. And in the Vanguard newspaper, Port Harcourt refinery, tanker driver at war over delay in product loading. The Port Harcourt refinery company, PHRC, and petroleum tanker drivers, PTD, through its umbrella body, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, dismissed the allegation, saying the company was being economical with the truth. Meanwhile, Major Energy Marketers Association of Nigeria, MEMAN, Petroleum Product Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, Petron, National President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, said they were ready to lift products and were working on it. When visited by newsmen, the Area 5 of the refinery yesterday about 3 p.m., refining of products was ongoing. A source in the facility said that refining produces daily, adding that it has maintained its production status as disclosed earlier on Tuesday. Also at the loading bay of the refinery, 3 trucks were being loaded, while 7 others were standing by within the bay to be loaded. It was also observed that 18 loading points in the facility, only 3 were in use. It was further observed that only tankers with NNPC insignia were loading and staying within the premises of the refinery. Although the facility was not bustling with life, activities were ongoing within the loading bay and production areas. So that's the updates there on the Port Harcourt refinery. In the Vanguard newspaper, Port Harcourt refinery, tanker drivers at war over delay in production. All right, it's time to now open the studio line for contributions and comments. 0704-700-7701 or 0707276628. Those are the studio lines to call. 0704-700-7701 or 0707276628. Hunter's case can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong, the president said in a statement. The move is sure to bring about fresh scrutiny over the independence of the U.S. judicial system, especially at a time when incoming President Donald Trump has moved to appoint loyalists to the FBI and Justice Department himself. And that's how much we can take on the program this morning. All right, we have a call. Let's see if we can get one or two. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
I did Falana.
Okay, from where?
From Adamimogo.
All right, your take.
I want to speak on that Port Harcourt refinery.
All right, go ahead, sir.
We want immediate action. People are suffering. We are suffering. It is this oil that we depend on, and it is the one that makes us to to weigh the prices of the prices of food to our nation. If the price is reduced markedly, you will know all our problems will be solved immediately.
All right.
It is this transport.
All right.
There is just giving us a problem.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you a lot. And that's where we wrap it up on the program this morning. The Daily Dose on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Ido Ekiti. It returns again tomorrow. My name is Oladoyin Ayegbusi.